Go ahead.
Hello, class. I have a special memory I'll be sharing with you today, one that I hold close to my heart. Some of you may have shared the same memory when you were a kid. I remember running through the yard of my grandma's house with my cousins, playing tag or Red Rover, Red Rover. Up until our grandma would yell, "The food is ready." We'd run up to the door and step through the door, smell that fresh aroma of fresh fried bread. It would overtake our senses, causing our mouth to water. I spent hours in the kitchen with my grandmother and was lucky enough to learn a few of her recipes, one of them being her amazing bread, which I'll be sharing with you today. Step one is gathering the cooking supplies and ingredients to make the dough. You will first need a cast iron pan, which my grandma said always made the best bread because it distributes heat evenly throughout the pan, keeping your grease consistent. You will need your bowl. You will need your stirring stick and a metal tongs. And then you will need your measuring cup with your measuring spoons. Next, we will gather in the ingredients for the dough. We have first here our flour. We have our sugar. We have our non-fat dry milk. We also have some salt, some baking powder, and a packet of yeast, which I believe is in that bag over there. And that is our ingredients right there. Next, we will be mixing the ingredients into the bowl here. First off, we will take our flour, and I will not be mixing real dough because I do not have time for it to rise and cook right now. So we will take 8 cups of flour here, which is 4 of these, and add it into the bowl. Next, we will grab our granulated sugar, which is a 1/2 cup of sugar. Add that to the bowl as well. We will then take our non-fat dry milk, and this measures out to 3/4 of a cup per packet, which is perfect for what I need. So I'll add 1 packet to that. Then take a tablespoon of salt, add that to your bowl, which is here. And then we take 3/4 or 1/4 cup baking powder and add that to the mixture as well. I'll then take my packet of yeast and add that finally. And then I will stir all the ingredients to give it a nice even mixture before I add my warm water. The next step is to grab your warm water, which is 4 cups, so 2 of these measuring cups here, and you will add it to your mixture. You will be nice and gentle with your mixture, making sure to get all the flour coated from the sides of the bowl and the bottom of the bowl. You do not want to be too hard on the dough, as it will make the dough hard. After that, I usually use the yeast because it takes an hour for the bread to rise, which is fast rising yeast. Now, if you have time to prepare bread for the whole day, you do not have to use the yeast, but then you will have to let the bread rise for 2 to 3 hours after that. After you make your dough, you will take your towel here, cover the bowl of dough, and set it to the side. The next step is preparing your grease for the dough. You'll take a cast iron pan. You can either use oil or you can use the Cisco grease, which my grandma likes a lot, and you will fill your iron pan 3/4 of the way full. The next step is to turn the stovetop on to medium temperature. You do not want this to be too low, as your bread will soak in the oil and become heavy. You do not want the temperature to be too high, because then you will cook the outside of your bread, causing the dough to be raw on the inside. Next, with your oil ready, we will get the dough. I prepared some dough that I made earlier this morning. I'll grab a little flour because it's sticky. My grandma always said to treat your food with love and care, and especially your fry bread, because it transmits positivity into your food, which people are eating. So you take your dough here, and with your dough, you want to let the gravity do the work. When you separate it, you pull up and you slightly pull. Let the gravity stretch the dough downward, creating that nice circle pattern. As you see here, it starts to form a nice circle as I keep going. You then lay the dough, I'm in a little mess, then lay the dough into your hot grease for 3 to 4 minutes or until it turns golden brown. You then flip it over to the other side. Once that piece of bread is done, you'll take your metal tongs with the hot grease and lift the bread up and shake it and let it drip dry into your pan. You will then set it to the side on some paper towel or a pan to let it dry. You will continue this process until all the dough is gone. In conclusion, there are many different ways that you can make this bread, and there are many different names that people call this bread on different reservations. We can use this bread alone or with different types of foods to make a meal. Thank you, and hope you enjoy this traditional Ojibwe fried bread.